everybody, and I hope you can still hear me. I'm coming to you today. Today is the 13th, I think, yeah. No, it's the 14th of October, and the eve of the OCC here in George. Tomorrow sees athletes from around the world converge on George to participate in a hand cycle race of about 40 kilometers. Is the highest one. There's a 21 kilometer hand cycle race, and there's also a 10 kilometer. And these athletes will be once again, after a few years of the race not being broadcast, will again tomorrow start for the first time. And I'm really looking forward to this event. For those of you that have never actually been or heard about it, it is an event which takes place in October, normally in about February, March, in George, South Africa, where athletes that are wheelchair bound, actually race in hand cycles and qualify for the World Championships. We've got renowned cyclists coming from all over the world. We have them coming from Africa, and these guys will be putting themselves to their utmost tomorrow, from George, starting at about 7 o'clock. I hope you can all hear me. If you can hear me, please just give me a thumbs up. Show me that my voice is audible. I do apologize. I do have a bit of a bronchitis, so my voice is not as good as it should be. But I would really appreciate it if you could just show me. Hi, Eugene, Maggie, thanks for joining me. If you can hear me, please just send me a message and say, yes, you can hear me. My voice is okay. Otherwise, I'd hate to waste your time. Fada, thank you for joining me on this Friday afternoon. I know you guys got a lot of things on and probably want to get home. I just felt it's very important for us to get together today live so that I could actually do a bit of promotional work in the sense of that tomorrow, and if my health permits me, I'll be doing a live transmission from the OCC, which is the Wheelchair Challenge of Champions, which is probably, I think, about the 14th or the 13th year that will be taking place here in George. And as I said, we've got world champion para-athletes coming here. Our youngest contestant, I've just confirmed, Zach, Legwatts will be arriving in George in the next few hours, and he will be participating. He's been participating in this race since I think he was about 8 years old. His father will be bringing him down here. So while we are waiting for that to happen, tomorrow morning at about 7 o'clock, the first races will be taking off. That is our professionals on a 41 kilometer marathon hand cycle race. And unfortunately, I'm not quite used to this whole idea yet of how to put a picture on there, but I'd love to show you what a hand cycle looks like. Hi, how's it, Rodriguez, my buddy? How are you doing? Thanks for joining. Can you hear me? I'm not sure if anyone can hear me. I've got a new microphone on, and I'm not sure whether can you hear me better like this, or I'm going to hook it on here. Maybe you can hear me better. Just give me a second. One of the disadvantages of having one hand, I suppose. But light exposing, thank you very much. Thank you, Rodriguez. Really appreciate the feedback there. Guys, as I said, I've been in bed for the last 2 weeks. I've been suffering from what we thought was another bout of COVID. But I'm really looking forward to hopefully being out there tomorrow next to the road, supporting my fellow athletes in wheelchairs. They're going to be doing a hand cycle race here in George, 42 kilometers. Can you imagine the amount of stamina that it takes to take yourself around 42 kilometers by using purely your arms for that whole distance? I tell you, it's going to be an amazing event. I've watched it for the last 8 years. There's going to be a fun walk, 5 kilometer fun walk for people living with disabilities. And the whole idea for me is to create an awareness for people with disabilities that we are and we do deserve a place in society. Once a year, these athletes come together, and they show us the steel that they're made of. And I'm asking you to please share this video, share this live with as many people as possible, so that tomorrow, if I can, I want to do a live transmission from next to the race to show you that these guys can actually reach up to 61 kilometers an hour with their hands. Now, I mean, I know people that are using bicycles that battle. In fact, I couldn't even ride a bicycle anymore if I wanted to. I'm so imbalanced. Hi, Andres, Benny. Thank you guys for joining. Please hit the likes and shares. We need as many people to see this. Tomorrow, George is becoming the center point for people living with disabilities as we launch the OCC, which is the Otaniqua Champion of Champions wheelchair race, which was started many years ago by a lady here in George. Very humbly, the idea was to have anything on wheels participating in a race, and to show people the abilities of people living with disabilities. I think when we talk about previously disadvantaged groups, we forget the fact that people living with disabilities are the currently disadvantaged. We are still fighting for our rights in society on so many platforms. We are overlooked. We are given no opportunities. Cities are forgetting about the fact that we actually need universal accessibility, getting into buildings, getting into even the municipal buildings we're fighting for at the moment. Simple little things that people with wheelchairs, and we always seem to think that when we talk about people living with disabilities, we start looking for wheelchairs. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, whatever you want to call yourselves, people with disabilities don't always show their disabilities. And in many cases, I was invited to go and do a talk in Joburg many years ago. For those of you that don't know, I lost the use of my right arm 14 years ago in a car accident. And when we talk about disabilities, we start looking for wheelchairs. And I was invited to go to talk. I've taught myself photography, and I had to go and talk about the overcoming disadvantages or adversity with photography. And a friend of mine sponsored a hotel room for my visit. And I got to the hotel and I checked in and I said, "Hi, I'm Sean Snayman. I've come hi, Shireen. I've come and I've got a room booked for me and everything like that." And the lady said to me, "We've booked you in the paraplegic room." And I said to her, "But why would you do something like that?" Because somebody mentioned I was disabled, they automatically thought that I was wheelchair bound, which is absolutely ludicrous. I happen to have lost the use of my right arm, and my brain does not sit in my arm. And I think this is the message that I want to try and get across here this afternoon, that people need to understand that when we talk about disabilities, there are so many different types of disabilities, and not all of them are visible. The fact that I don't have the use of my right arm doesn't mean that I can't use my brain and that I can't do so much more. I've taught myself to do carving with one hand and stuff. And there's one thing I'm going to be honest with you that I do battle a bit with. My wife says I just can't do dishes, but I can change the tire on a car. So it's very selective, but I'd really like you guys to tune in tomorrow. It's going to be on the newspaper, in the news. It's going to be on SABC. But if everything allows and my health allows me to be there, I'm trying to hook up with a bunch of other TikTok fans, and we want to make a TikTok party of this whole thing and show people how these athletes that are wheelchair bound are going to take you on a trip that you will never forget. I've done this thing now for so many years. I've watched it, and every single year I end up in tears because the amount of stamina and the amount of determination that these guys show. 41 kilometers, and guys, you won't believe the time we're talking about. I think the record at this stage of the game for 41 kilometers in a hand cycle. Now do yourself a favor, go and Google a hand cycle, and you will notice that It is a bicycle that has been made into like a tricycle, and they lie flat on their backs, and all they can use is their arms, and they're reaching speeds up to 61 to 65 kilometers an hour. I mean, this is unbelievable. So, guys, really hit the share buttons and get the people to understand that tomorrow George is the center for people with living with disabilities. And I tell you, it's going to be phenomenal. I should have been at the opening this evening, but I'm going to save my health for tomorrow. Hello, Sharon, welcome back. I really appreciate you joining me in the live here. Sorry, I don't believe in sitting quietly looking at a screen. And yes, because I'm a politician, I can probably talk a hell of a lot, but I believe in engaging with people. And if you want to come on live, you're welcome to invite yourself. Let's talk. This is what it's all about for me. It's about being able to interact with people and find out your views, because the more we find out about each other, the closer we become as a society, and the more we understand each other. Because as much as we think we're different, we're all pretty much the same at the end of the day. Our needs are the same. So if you'd like to go live with me on this, feel free to invite. In fact, I'm going to see if anybody does want to come on live. If you don't want to, you're welcome to just ignore. But there we go. Who's joining me? Hi there.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Oh, that's great. Nice to have you online here.
Ach, dan is lekker. Do you want to
I'm
box or
just going to pull the
something?
microphone out because unfortunately this phone of mine, it works in a very funny way. So just excuse me for a second.
Okay, yeah.
There we go. There we are. Right, now we can talk. Thank you very much for joining me live. And yeah,
Thank you.
I joined you live earlier. Today we're talking about the OCC, which is a hand cycle race which is taking place tomorrow here in George. People with disabilities that are living in wheelchairs are going to take on 41 kilometers on a road race here in George tomorrow. And I'm trying to share this with as many people as possible, because if all goes according to plan, I'd like to actually go and do a live video and show you what a hand cycle race is actually about.
Okay.
It's unbelievable.
Okay. I will look at the live.
Yeah, great. It's going to take. Carry on.
I also have OCD.
Okay. Now
I was diagnosed with OCD when I was 21.
Okay, well, I've lost it. Sharon, thanks for joining in. I'll see you again soon. Now, I've lost the use of my right arm. You can see my one shoulder is shorter than the other one.
Yeah.
I actually
Yes.
lost it. If you can see there, I've lost the use of my right arm completely.
I'm sorry.
I rolled the car 3 times. Some guy pushed me off the road, and I've got a brachial plexus. And I've had to teach myself to do everything with my left hand. But the one thing that I have learned, and the message that I tell everybody, is that despite having one arm, you can still do everything. Yeah. But you need to be prepared to ask for assistance, because there are certain things that you can't do. And I think that is the most important lesson that I've learned in life. Yeah. That as much as you want to do everything yourself and you want to be self-sufficient, there are times that you really need to ask for people for assistance. And that's the most important. And as long as you know you've got the support of other people, you can accomplish any dream that you want to. And that's the most important thing for me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow.
So, yeah. And
I envy you.
No, there's nothing to envy. You know, Sorry?
I could do the way you look at life, the way you see things.
The thing is, you know, it all depends on how you experience life at the end of the day. I mean, I joined TikTok because I want to share my story, because, I mean, yes, I've only been disabled now for 14 years, but I've had so many life experiences. I've had near-death experiences. I've had so much that I can share with people. But it's how you take, and it's how you get out of it, and what, because if you take a challenge, and I mean, I could very easily. I mean, a lot of doctors have said to me, I should be in Groenbakkie, so I should have given up a long time ago. But the fact remains is that if you look at every challenge that you're given as an opportunity to either grow from it or better yourself from it and learn, then,
Yeah.
and I've been watching a lot last month, to do with mental health. I mean, I've been at the verge of suicide. I'm a public rep, and I'm proud to say it. I'm at the top of my game. I represent 250,000 people in George, but I'm not shy to tell people that even as a community leader, I'm a human being. I have emotions.
Yeah.
I have a life,
Yeah.
and the life that I've lived has put me where I am today. And the year before my car accident, I actually was on the verge of wanting to give up everything. And I had a bike accident in which I actually was dead for 3 minutes. And that woke me up completely. And it was all because of a woman. And I
Yes.
realized that there's nothing in this life that's worth giving your life up for. There's a purpose for everything. And I'm around. I believe strongly today. I'm around so that I can give this message to people, because no matter how down and how depressed you are, and the struggles that you're going through, you've got to remember that there's other people out there that are going through so much worse. And if we just stand together and we start listening to each other, it doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter what color or what language you speak. The fact remains is that we open our ears and we actually learn to live with each other. We can overcome just about anything that life throws at us. But what we're doing is we're isolating ourselves, and we're actually killing ourselves by our own thoughts and living inside our own
Yeah.
heads.
I think
And that
you were meant to you were meant to come in my life today because I needed to hear this. I needed to hear this.
Well, this is the thing, people look at you and they think, I mean, Robin Williams was one of the biggest comedians in the world, and
Yeah.
he always
Yeah.
smiled. But the problem is that
Yeah.
nobody knew that smile actually had heartache inside of him. And people look at
Yes.
you and the funny thing about it is, I'm going to say something that's actually going to shock probably the hell out of you, is the fact that people look at me, and because I've got blonde hair and blue eyes, they automatically understand me as being a white South African. But in actual fact, I'm not. I'm mixed. I know where I come from, and
Yes. See, I wouldn't say.
I come from a mixed background. And the fact remains is that
Oh,
my surname is indigenous to South Africa. It started in
wow.
1872. And if we understand
Yes.
where we come from, and we understand that everyone is the same, doesn't matter what skin color you are, no matter what your
Skin color.
religion is or anything like that. The
Yeah.
fact is that we're all here for a purpose, and
You
we are
are.
actually
Yes.
there for a reason. And the problem
Yeah.
is that when people look at me as a leader or a
Yeah.
public representative,
Yeah.
automatically they put me into this category of being a wit Afrikaner boer, and I'm not.
Yeah.
Ek is nie Afrikaans. I'm a South
Yeah.
African, just like everybody
But
else. And I've had
yeah.
hardships. I grew up without my parents put me into boarding school when I was 6 years old. I left school when I was 16 and I started working when I was 17. So whatever story you can tell me, I can tell you the same. But the fact is that
Yeah.
nobody wants to listen to you. Nobody wants to, because they all think you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth because of where you come from or how you talk or the accent in your language. But
Yeah.
nobody takes the time to understand that you are actually a human being that hurts as much as everybody else. You've had hardships. You don't show it. You don't carry it on your shoulder. But every lesson that I've learned, I'm more than willing to impart with other people. And I love doing counseling with people that have been in accidents, because the fact remains is, at the end of the day, one thing that I've learned, the most important thing in my life is, um, without people, I wouldn't be here, because it's not my own strength. It's theirs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, so I'm also sorry.
And it's difficult because people don't understand that I could never have got through the
Yeah.
situation that I had on my own. And
Yes.
if it wasn't for friends and family
That's
that
what I wanted to
were
say
there,
now. Yeah.
and the positive energy that they gave me, I
Yeah,
wouldn't be here today.
my friends keep me
And
sane also. Yes.
and this is what I'm saying to you. You know, it doesn't take necessarily a word, but somebody that touches you on the shoulder and says to you, "It's going to be okay."
Yeah.
The positive energy
Yeah.
that we exude onto
Yeah.
each other, that is what's
Yeah.
important. And you know, they say that the power of healing is in touch. But it's that energy that we give off to each other. Sorry, I get very emotional about it, but
It's okay.
you know,
It's okay.
but
Me too.
and that is what I'm trying to tell people. Um, it's the energy that we give each other when we talk to each other, and when we can actually turn to each other and say, "Listen, help me," and we don't turn a blind ear or a deaf shoulder. And
Yeah.
I've I've never, I mean, I'm in politics, but I never ask somebody who you vote for, or what church you go to, or what color
Yeah.
your skin is. If somebody asks for
Yeah.
help, they're asking because they need help.
Yeah.
And if
Help.
I have
Yeah.
to put a T-shirt to that, then I'm no better than Satan himself, because then I'm doing it for myself and nothing else.
Yeah.
I don't care if people
Yeah.
never vote for me because of you know it's about being able to reach out to somebody and to touch somebody and say to them, you know what? Yeah, if I can help you, that's what I'm here for. Let's help each other.
You help me now.
So,
You help me just now
well, you know,
because
let me put it to you
I'm
like this: if
struggling
you wake up,
inside.
you know, I suffer from OCD as well, by the way, just as a matter of interest.
Yeah.
My
Yeah. Okay.
my
Yeah.
wife says I'm terrible, and
Yeah. My
uh,
husband says I'm
it
terrible.
bothers.
Yeah.
But the thing is also, and maybe this is why I've got this bronchitis, is because I have a very strong voice, and I come across as somebody that shouts, but I'm not shouting.
Ouais.
I talk
Ouais.
very loudly because
Ouais.
of the simple fact that
Of-
I'm a big
You.
man. I'm 6'5", but I
Well,
don't
yes.
shout at people. I don't
You
shout.
just want to be
I
heard or
talk,
what?
but I'm passionate. I'm passionate about what I talk about.
Ouais.
So
Passionate.
with the
Ouais.
result, ek het 'n baie sterk stem en ongelukkig kom dit
Yeah.
baie keer voor as of ek
As
iemand is wat as baie you know wat baie kras is, of wat my ek is nie kras. Now I stand for what's right. You're right, Rodriguez. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And I don't
it's
have
wrong.
gray areas in my life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, life has taught me you're either going to do it properly or you're not going to do it at all. So, you
Yeah.
know, and I just felt I wasn't going to go on live today because of my voice. And I just thought, you know what, I've got this calling. They've taken me off studio. I had
And
a
you see
beautiful
now.
session yesterday
Yeah.
afternoon with Rodriguez. We were listening to healing sounds and Zen music. And I just want to share that type of passion with people because of the
And
simple
thank
fact that
you.
you know, and I think
Thank
this
you.
is what TikTok is more about. It's not about, yes, we
Yeah.
can make each other laugh. We can make every, you know, you will not catch me
We can.
ranking. Not for the life of
Yeah.
me. I will never, I'm not here for that. I'm here because if I can make a difference in one person's life today, then the reason for
Yeah.
me waking up has been worth
Yeah.
for me. And that is what's so important. So what the result is um, and I, you know, there's a lot of videos going out there. Will you sit with me for 5 minutes? I'm one of those people that if you need somebody to talk to, I feel that that's what I'm here for. I've been through it. I don't think there's anything that you can. Hi, TJ's Craft Room. How are you? Um, I don't think there's any situation that you can talk to me about, say, that I haven't been through myself. I've been an abused husband. I've been without my children for 15 years. I've almost been taken out by 3 bombs. Um, you name it, I've probably been there, done that, and got a T-shirt. But you know what? I'm standing here today because I believe I have a purpose, and I'm not religious for 1 second. Don't be mistaken for 1 second. I'm a spiritual person. I believe we have a creator, and
Yeah.
and the fact remains, I'm very well, thank you, GG's Craft Room. I'm sharing a bit of my life here, but I just felt it was necessary. I mean, I was sent to boarding school at the age of 6 years old because my parents got divorced. And as a child, I was chubby and I was mocked and I was bullied and all that sort of stuff. And I threw myself into sport. And it's sport that changed me. And I ended up becoming a prefect in junior school. I ended up getting school colors in high school for discus because of the fact that I took all the negative stuff that was being done to me and always being told how bad I am to show to people that,
Yes.
you know what, you can do what you want to. But hi, Sasha, with the Rhodesia is back. Sorry, I'm just going to greet the people as they come in. But no matter what happens to you, never take what, if you believe what other people tell you, you always find yourself in the short end. And they told me that I would never surmount to anything. I had to leave Rhodesia. I come from Rhodesia. I grew up on a farm. We were in terrorist attacks there and stuff like that. And I left Rhodesia after the elections, and I came to South Africa to write my matric in Standard 9. And at the end of Standard 9, the headmaster told me that I'd have to redo Standard 9 because I'm too young. And I said to him, there's no ways. I didn't fail it. I didn't fail Standard 9, so how can you fail me? He said to me, you'll never make it. I said to him, you put me through, my friend. If I fail matric, I'll go back and do matric again for you. And in actual fact, at the age of 17, I wrote my matric and I got a B for biology. And I ended up going to the Defence Force for 7 years. I'm a qualified navigation weapon systems technician. So stuff you, and that's the thing. So, you can be whatever you want to be. As I said, 14 years ago, I lost the use of my right arm, and I started teaching myself photography because I love photography, and now I'm a one-armed photographer. And 2 years ago, I climbed the George Mountain single-handedly with two friends of mine.
Yes.
Went up a creek. And this is what I'm saying to you guys. If you don't believe you can do it, you're right, you can't. But you have to believe in yourself because nobody else is going to do it for you. We can support you. And if there's one thing I can say, and I've been rambling on now for I don't know how many minutes, but one thing I'm going to say to you today, and I wanted, and I really want this to stick with you, is that, that unless you start believing in yourself, and unless you forget about what other people tell you, okay,
Self-love.
you will only ever become what you believe yourself to be.
Yeah.
And it sounds like cliches and stuff like it, but I tell people this world owes you nothing. For the first 19 years of your life, you're building up a debt to society. And I keep telling children this, that you get all the love, you get all the attention that you need given to you on a silver platter. The only thing that you need to do is invest in yourself. And the investment that you make in yourself will determine whether you can pay off your debt to society. And you need to use your talents because no matter what you believe, you have them. Whether it's talking to people, whether it's making something with your hands, whether it's talking, writing a book, but we all have talents. And once you realize what your talent is, then you'll make a difference in your life. And if you make a difference in your life, you'll make a difference in somebody else's. That's what's most important.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you. Yes.
My pleasure.
This was amazing.
Well, I'm glad I could do something for somebody today. So, yeah.
Thank you.
And Rodriguez, I see, is still following me. But guys, I'm going to try and go on live on a more regular basis. I want to share my story. I want to share my story with people. And the thing is, I don't like sitting on a live chat. I'm not going to ask people money for reading cards, whatever. But if I can talk to you and I can make a difference in your life, that's what it's about for me.
That's what you just did for me. Yeah. That's what you just did for me. And this is what I want to do. The fact that you and I have been talking, I'm hoping that somebody else that has popped in and listened has. My best friend is here.
Okay. Well, maybe that's touched their life as well. And that's what's important to me. Because at the end of the day, I'm turning 58 next week. I'm past my middle ages. But the thing is just I have so much to share with people. And I want to do it. Because
tomorrow is definitely not a given. And we take it as every day comes. And as I said, I mean, if I tell my life story, I'm sure if you told me your life story, I'd sit here in awe of everything and say, wow, I can't believe it. But, the fact remains is, if you listen to somebody else's story, your life story seems so much easier. And you become,
that's how I feel now.
Because
that's how I feel now.
Because, the funny thing about it is the very first time I climbed the George Mountain, okay, I did it with a blind guy. Would you believe it?
Sure.
And my dog.
Yes.
And then last year, between three of us, myself, a friend of mine, Carl, who's blind, and a guy whose leg is amputated, we did a relay from Mossel Bay to George, which is 55 kilometers. And the guy with the amputated leg cycled for 25 kilometers. The blind guy ran for 14 kilometers, and I walked for 17 kilometers to raise money for awareness for people living with disabilities, because we are part of society.
Yeah, you are.
And we deserve our place in the sun. And with the money that we raised 17,000 Rand. And that money is going to put a wheelchair on the George Beach for people so that they can go into the sea, so that they can do what they've never experienced.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. You touched my heart today. I'm going to see things in a new light now.
Well,
thank you, Sean.
Okay.
Have a great day, and thank you for the chat, Sean.
Anytime. All right. Talk to you soon. Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Ciao.
Enjoyed this live. Rodriguez, your support, and Gigi, thank you very much for joining me. I'm not sure how many people are still live at this stage of the game, but I really hope that you have enjoyed this time with me, and we'll try and do it more regularly. And if you'd like to come online and chat and just talk about things and get things off your chest, let's do it. I'm prepared to talk about anything. I believe my Facebook, my TikTok profile is exactly what it says, no filters. What you see is what you get. And I want to show people that no matter what you are, if you stay true to yourself, you can achieve and accomplish anything that you want to. So guys and girls, thank you very much for this time. It's been a blessing being with you. And if I've made a difference, please get people to follow. Tomorrow we can be a lot more. And hopefully I can make a difference in your life too as well. Thank you very much, Rodriguez. You're absolutely the best, fan. Ciao.